Hello and welcome back. In our previous lessons, we were given a region. We had to write an equation to find the area of that region. Well, we're going to go backwards now. What if we were given the area function equation and we had to come up with what region we were looking at? And that's what we're going to look at down here. These are kind of fun to do. So it's just really just kind of thinking about it. So we want to sketch the region described by the following double integrals. Now notice there's this little function in here right there. We're going to talk about what that means later on. If you want to think about it, that could be like volume right there, because we got the area of the base times the height. So it's going to give us like a volume formula later on. We'll talk about that in a day or two. All right, so if we want to sketch the region here, we have to look at our domains. Well, if we take a look here, if I look at the inner part, they are telling us that the change in y's go from 0 to x. In other words, the y's go from y equals 0 to y equals x. And then they tell us the outer part, the dx's, the outer part. And that's telling us the outer part, which is delta x, goes from 0 to 4. In other words, the x, same thing, the x's go from x equals 0 to x equals 4. So how can I graph that? Well, if I start sketching it, my x's, that's easy, 0 to 4. My y's start at 0, so I got a point there, 0, 0. But this is what I'm looking at. This tells me it's going to y equals x. So if I draw the line to y equals x. Remember, this represents my vertical rectangle. If I draw like a little vertical rectangle there, notice my bottom is 0, my top is y equals x. So we are looking at the region underneath that line, or that area of that little triangle right there. So let's take a look at the next one. Ready? Looking at the inner part, this is change in x. Now be careful. So they're telling us that the inner part, the change in x's, goes from 0 to the square root of y. The outer part, the change in y's, that goes from 0 to 4. Remember, this says starting at y equals 0, ends at y equals 4. So I can do the y's pretty easily, 0 to 4 right here, but then I want to graph this one right here. Ready? This y equals, so remember this starts at x equals 0 and ends at x equals root y, which is really, kind of think about it, this is just y equals x squared, but there's a domain restriction, only the positive parts, so we're restricting it to positives. Okay? So we're looking at y equals square root of x. Or this is x equals square root of y. Sorry, backwards around. And so we're looking at this region, and my inner part, since x is first, this is horizontal. Whoops, don't want to erase that. There we go. If I look at my horizontal rectangle right here, from 0 to the square root of y. So it's this region inside there. All right, the last part. Let's take a look at the last one here. Ready? Our inner part, that's our change in x's, goes from negative square root of 1 minus y squared to positive square root of 1 minus y squared. And my outer parts, my change in y's, are going to go from 0 to 1. So hopefully you remember from last year or from Algebra 2 that this is the equation of a circle. So I'm going to draw a circle. Radius 1. Ready? Over here, this is positive 1 minus y squared. And on the other side, we have negative 1 minus y squared, square root of 1 minus y squared. So there we have it. So I got my circle. So that's going to be my circle part, right? But remember, this is saying that y goes from 0 to y equals 1 right there. So y, I don't want the bottom half. We only want the top of the circle. Like so. And that would be our shaded region. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. Smash that like button. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.